Okay, so today's topic is pranayama. We are officially starting pranayama, but before we move into the topic, so we are going to see the review of last class. So last class we did Shat Karmas, Shat Kriyas. There are 6 cleansing techniques. They are Neti Kriya, cleansing of nasal passages, Dauti Kriya, cleansing of whole digestive tract, Basti Kriya, cleansing of colon, Nauli Kriya, navel rotation for purifying abdominal organs, Kapalabhati, forceful breathing process for purifying the skull and the brain, and Trataka, continuous gazing, that is eye cleansing process. So now pranayama. So we are going to see the definition of pranayama today. So the fourth limb of Ashtanga Yoga it is. So what is the fourth limb? So we saw, I think it's in second class of theory class, we saw the 8 limbs of Ashtanga Yoga. So they are Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, and Samadhi. So the pranayama is the fourth limb of Ashtanga Yoga. And it's a Sanskrit word, prana plus ayama. You splitted pranayama as prana and ayama. Prana is life or vital force, and ayama is to extend, to restrain, or to stretch. So this is the definition of pranayama. So you see the definition of pranayama as stretching or extending or restraining your prana. So is the prana the vital force you're talking about an oxygen that we inhale? No, it's not. So, but we will see these prana and the difference between those things in the next class. But this is just a definition. So why do we have to extend or stretch the prana? So we all breathe with ease without knowing that we breathe. To understand it better, so you have to know certain techniques or the topics that related to pranayama. So why do we have to learn these techniques? So you will understand it better. That will be covered today's topic. So we will see the 5 koshas, that is the sheaths of human being. So we'll see the soul Atman, that is a pure consciousness is wrapped inside these 5 layers that's called Panchakosha. The Taittiriya Upanishad mentioned that the human body is only the physical abode of soul. So the soul is considered to be enveloped in these 5 sheaths, which we call it as Panchakosha. So the Atman is in the center of the bliss sheath. So now we have to see what these sheaths are. Annamaya kosha, pranamaya kosha, manomaya kosha, vijnanamaya kosha, and anandamaya kosha. So annamaya kosha is the sheath that is nourished by food. Pranamaya kosha is the sheath that nourished by energy. Manomaya kosha is the sheath of the mind. Vijnanamaya kosha, the sheath of the subtle knowledge. And anandamaya kosha, the sheath that consists of bliss. Before we go into detail of these koshas, I just want to tell you about the Brihu story. I don't know how many of you know it. So there is a story in Taittiriya Upanishads about Brihu, about these 5 Panchakoshas. I'll just go brief into it. I think most of you know about it. But in case if any of you doesn't know, so I'm just going to go brief on it. So there is a son called Brihu, and his father is Varuna. So his son came and asked his father to explain what this Atman is, the soul, the Brahman, what is a pure consciousness. So the detail about the Brahman and Atman definitions are in the first theory class. So we can just go over it. Varuna said, go find it yourself. Do tapas and find your what the pure consciousness is. So Bhrigu went into tapas. After a year, he came back to Varuna, his father, and said, I found out the Annamaya Kosha, the matter is what the Brahman is. Varuna sent him back and told him to meditate on it further. And then he came back with an answer saying that the Pranamaya Kosha, that is, the prana is Brahman. Again, Varuna sent him back. This time, again, he came back with a conclusion saying that the Manomaya Kosha, the mind is Brahman. But still unsatisfied with the son's level of realization, he sent him back. Again, he went under a deeper reflection this time and came up with an answer saying that Vijnanamaya Kosha, that is the intellect, is what Brahman is. Again, Varuna instructed him to continue on his reflecting. So he went and did his tapas again. So next he came back and says Ananda, the bliss is Brahman. So Varuna was happy to know about his son realization. So this is the story of Bhrigu. So this comes in Taittiriya Upanishads. All these Panchakoshas are mentioned in Taittiriya Upanishads. Now we'll see the details on each koshas. Annamaya Kosha. So Anna means food. This sheath is our physical body. It's made of bones, tissues, muscles, and organs. So it is called the food layer because it is created by the food that we eat. So here energy is solidified into matter and is made up of five elements. These five elements I have seen also in first theory class, of which the earth is the element is the dominant one. So one gets stuck into this layer, then one becomes more obsessive about the physical form. Now we are going to move on to the pranamaya kosha. Pranamaya kosha, separate and subtler than annamaya kosha. It is a sheath of vital air. So the flow of prana, that is a life force, is invisible. But the life, the consciousness in the gross body depends on this prana. So the Andamaya kosha gets life by the prana entering into it and engages in all kinds of action. So prana is the life of beings and universal life. So for you know that the prana, once it's the vayu outside the universe, once it enters into the body, it becomes the prana, and that's the life force. So the vayu element of the air present in the universe when enters the body in the form of prana. So it is universally present everywhere, but when enters into the body, it is known as prana. So I told you prana and the air you inhale, the oxygen is different, but we are going to see that in next class. So the yogic literature mentions the presence of 72,000 pathways along which the prana moves in the body. So the pathways have been named as Nadis in yoga. So these 72,000 Nadis interconnect the energetic centers or chakras in the human body. So the nadis are the astral tubes that carry pranic currents, and they cannot be seen by the naked eye. So they are not the ordinary nerves, arteries, or veins we are talking about. So there are three of them. There are so many nadis in your body, but as I mentioned, in the 72,000. But we are going to see only the main three of them, three important ones: Ida, Pingala, and Shushumna. Ida. So Ida Nadi is this. So it's also called Chandra Nadi. So which flows through your left nostrils. And Pingala Nadi is this, which is also called Surya Nadi. So which flows through your right nostril. And Shushumna Nadi. Shushumna Nadi is the one that goes in the middle. So you see that? Yeah, that's a Shushumna Nadi, which is a moment when both the nostrils flow freely without any obstructions. Shushumna is the most important because Kundalini passes through this Nadi. Probably you might have heard the word that Kundalini, awakening and stuff. So that's why this Nadi is most important among our Nadis. So now Prana, which according to its location, movement and purpose has been divided into five major and five minor components. Even though Prana inside your body is one, but depending upon its location, where it located and its where it movement and the purpose of it varies, and it's divided into five major and five minor components. And Pranamaya Kosha mainly includes five Mukhya Pranas and five Upapranas. So now we are going to see on to that. So the five types of prana located in Pranamaya Kosha are Prana, Apana, Samana, Udana, and Vyana. So now we are going to go one over the other. So Prana first. Pranavayu is upward flowing from chest to thorax. This governs the lungs, larynx, and chest region. It is that force by which the breath is drawn into the body. Again, Apana, the downward flowing Vayu, which located from the navel to the Mooladhara, that is the base plexus, and this is responsible for all excretory reproductive functions and governs the large intestines, kidneys, anus, and genitals. And Samana Vayu, the sideways flowing Vayu from the navel to the diaphragm. And it is responsible for all digestive and metabolic functions. So including the circulatory systems and governs the heart, liver, small intestine, stomach, pancreas, and the secretions. And Udana Vayu. So governs the area above the neck and is responsible for the sense organs. So it governs thought and consciousness, harmonizes and activates the limbs and all their associated nerves, ligaments, muscles, and joints. So it is the reason we can maintain an erect posture, and it helps to attain bliss by giving complete rest by means of deep sleep at night. So on the basis of overall deeds, that is good and bad, it becomes a source to achieve joy or sorrow. That's Udana. And the last one is Vyana, pervades the whole body. So it regulates and controls all the movement and coordinate with all the other pranavayus. And it is the reserve force for the other pranas as well. So Again, this is the just what I've seen so far, 5 different manifestations of prana. Prana, its location is heart and it's a forward moving air. Do not worry about the color. So its functions are governing eating, food, inhalation of drinking, inhalation of air and drinking water. Apana, the location is anus and air moving away and governs its elimination and reproduction. And samana is just above the navel and it's a balancing air, churning, discerning action, digestion, respiration, and etc. Udana is throat region. It's upward moving air and its functions are growth of body, speech, effort, and will. Its vyana is all around the body. So outward moving air, circulation of food, oxygen, and water across the body. So why are we learning all these is because when we do Ayurveda, the future classes, so Ayurveda is basically treated upon the chakras and the vayus and the koshas and the gunas and the three vata, pitta, kapha, those areas. So I'm just going to mention, so you'll get an idea what I'm talking about. Okay. So again, this will give you an idea for the location. Just look at the location. That's more than enough because we covered pretty much. So apana, this is the area. So pelvic floor to the feet. Its functions are again elimination, birthing, menstruations. Do not worry about the chakra. We are going to go over it. Vyana, it's all over the body. And Samana's physical location is at the navel. Function, digestion, metabolism, nourishing, and chakra is Manipura. I'm not going to mention about the chakra anymore. So prana is physical location is diaphragm to the to throat, that is heart. Functions, respiration, sensory perception. And the udana is physical location is throat to head. So functions, physical senses, mental strength, speech. Okay, so now we will move on to the Upapranas. So apart from these Mahamukhya pranas that you have seen, there are other 5 Upapranas as well. So they are Naga, Kurma, Krikara, Devadatta, and Dhananjaya. And functions of these pranas are, for Naga, it's hiccuping. Kurma, closing and opening of eyelids. Krikara induces hunger and thirst. Devadatta is yawning. Dhananjaya is a decomposition of body after death. Okay, chakras. Chakra means wheel and refers to the energy centers in our body. The junctions where the Ida, Pingala, and Shushumna Nadi, what we have seen, meet along the spinal column are called chakras. So, see, these are chakras. The center thing, this is called a Shushumna Nadi. Say that this is a Shushumna Nadi, the spinal column thing. And the Ida Pingala goes like crisscross like this. Wherever these 3 meets, say the Ida, Pingala, and Shushumna meets, these chakras are there. Okay. So these chakras are the wheels of spinning energy. These corresponds to bundles of nerves, major organs, and to function at their best, chakras need to stay open or balanced. So when the chakras are open and aligned, our energy is constantly free flowing. So allowing prana to flow through them. If they get blocked, you may experience physical or emotional symptoms related to that particular chakra. So there are 7 main chakras that run along your spine. So they start at the root of the base of your spine and extend to the crown of your head. So Muladhara chakra, Swadhisthana chakra, Manipura chakra, Anahata, Vishuddhi, Agnya, and Sahasra. So now we will see these 7 chakras, its location, its function, and it has a color and also mantra and stuff, but I'm not going to go into the details about those. So we'll just see where its locations and function. Okay. The first is Muladhara chakra. So the root or Muladhara chakra is located at the base of your spine, that is perineum. It provides you with a base or foundation for life, and it helps you feel grounded and able to withstand challenges. So your root chakra is responsible for a sense of security and stability. You see that? Survival, grounding, stability, comfort, and safety. And each one has a mantra, color, and the number of petals. But don't worry about that. We are just going to see only the location and its function. Next is Swadhisthana chakra. That is a sacral chakra, or Swadhisthana is located just below your belly button. This chakra is responsible for your sexual and creative energy. It is also linked to how you relate to your emotions as well as emotion of others. So location of the sacrum, location of sacrum, function, sensuality, sexuality, pleasure, creativity, emotions. Now the third one is Manipura. Manipura, or the solar plexus chakra, is located in your stomach area. So it's responsible for confidence and self-esteem, so as well as helping you feel in control of your life. So location above the navel, strength, ego, power, self-esteem, and digestion. Now, fourth is Anahata, is called the heart chakra. Because it's located near your heart, in the center of your chest. It comes as no surprise that the heart chakra is all about our ability to love and show compassion. So, middle of the chest, love, acceptance, compassion, kindness, and peace. Now, the fifth, Vishuddhi or Vishuddha. Vishuddhi, generally people call it as a throat chakra because its location is throat. So the chakra has to do with our ability to communicate verbally. So that is back of your neck, that is throat, communication, expression, honesty, purification. Now this is the Agnya chakra, the third eye chakra. Since it's called a third eye chakra, Agnya is located between your eyes, that is between your eyebrows. So you can think this chakra for a strong gut instinct, that because the third eye is responsible for intuition. It's also linked towards imagination. So functions are intuition, visualization, imagination. Okay, so between your eyebrows. This is Sahasra, that is the crown chakra. Is located on the top of your head. Your Sahasra represents your spiritual connection to yourself, others, and the universe. It also plays a role in your life purpose. Again, the location of this is top of the head, that is crown, and function or knowledge, fulfillment, spirituality, and self-realization. So these are the chakras. Hope some asanas we tell you to keep your crown down. So that is your where your chakra is. So now we will move on to the next kosha, manomaya kosha. It is a mental or psychological sheath. It is composed of manas or mind, thinking, feeling, and willing. The mind, along with the five sensory organs, that is taste, tongue, smell, nose, vision, the four eyes, ear, hearing, skin, touching. We have seen all this in the first theory class also. Constitute the manomaya kosha or the mind sheath because the mind receives the input from these sensory organs. So that consists of manomaya kosha. This kosha is much more powerful than the preceding two koshas. The preceding two koshas are Andamaya kosha and Pranamaya kosha we already seen and governs them and is in turn governed by the other two superior koshas. We are going to see them. They were called VIJNANAMAYA and ANANDAMAYA kosha. And this is characterized by feelings such as likes or dislikes, love or hate, and backed up by the heavy I, the ego. Before we move on to the next uh, kosha, sorry, we are going to see the Manomaya kosha has five states of mind. We do have a five states of mind. They are Shipta, monkey mind, chaotic or most fickle state of mind. So it is the lowest state of mind. A person is highly agitated and unable to think, listen, or keep quiet. So it's like a monkey jumping up and down. So pleasure, pain, like or dislike, love, hate. So the monkey mind is always alternating between two extreme states. So dominated by Rajoguna. So Muda. Muda is a dull or lazy state of mind that is called donkey mind. In this state, no information seems to reach your brain. So the mind is dull, sleepy, sluggish, and lacking vitality. So dominated by the tamoguna. The next third is Vishipta, that is a butterfly mind, partially focused mind. So one moment on the ground, clarity, and the other moment on the sky, confusion. And unstable butterfly mind is always on the fly. So here the mind receives information but seems unable to process it. So the mind oscillates in confusion. So dominated by sattva, but the mind is pulled away from sattva back to rajas and tamas. So do not worry about the topic of three gunas that we are talking about, mentioning like rajas, tamas, and sattva. We are going to go over that in future classes. Now we'll move on to the fourth one, ekagrata, that is one-pointed mind. In this state, the mind is relaxed but not sleepy, of course. So the person is ready to focus and pay attention. So with single pointed focus, sharp intuitiveness, dissolved ego, and awakened soul. So your mind feels happy and whole. Then the next, the last, the niruddha, fully observed mind. So after passing through the state of ekagrata, there is one-pointedness. One is able to hold onto a single point of focus. So here the mind is not distracted by random thoughts, but is fully absorbed in the object of focus. So absolute control over your body, mind, and senses is niruddha. Again, so there are four states of consciousness. So we always say you're consciously relaxed, consciously doing stuff right in class. So we have to say there are four states of consciousness. What are they? So first is Jagrat, wakefulness. The first state is that of waking consciousness in which we are aware of our daily world. In this state, consciousness is turned outwards to the external world. It is about experiencing gross material objects. And this is a sense of I, the self identity, and awareness of thoughts. This is the gross body. Obviously, when you're awake, you're always identified with your gross physical body, right? So that's the first state of consciousness. Next, swapna, that is when you're dreaming. The second state is that of dreaming. The mind can work out its unfulfilled wants, wishes, desires, attractions, and aversions that are not allowed to play out in the external world. So, in this state, the consciousness is turned towards the inner world. So, in the sleep or dream state, there is no or little sense of I. However, there are thoughts and awareness of thoughts. And this is related to with your subtle body. So when you're dreaming, obviously there is no connection with your outside world. So your consciousness is turned toward your inner side. And obviously there is no much of I there. So you're all connected with your subtle body. So physical body is not there. So you're connected with your subtle body there. So the next state, the third state is Shushupti, that is a deep sleep. So when you're in deep sleep, the third state is of deep sleep. In this consciousness state, there is neither the desire for any gross or subtle object, nor any dream sequence. So the deep impression of the mind are stored here in the latent form like seeds. So when certain conditions are met, they can play out in dreams or grow into action in the waking state. And it is of the causal body. Do not worry about these shariras, causal body, gross body, and this thing. We are going to see it in the next slide. And we have seen this, the seed, how we are the Papa Punya thing, and how the birth cycle in Sankhya Yoga in the first theory class. So hope you all remember. So in this state, there is no connection between any gross or subtle objects. So you are obviously connected with your causal body. And Turiya, the fourth, that is a pure awareness. In this state, consciousness is neither turned outward nor inward. It's a perfect, pure awareness of awareness. So it observes the three other states. It is a revelation of the background of the other three states of consciousness, that is, waking, dreaming, and deep sleep. And Turiya is a state in which there is no identification with any kosha or any sharira. So this is the gist of what you have seen, waking Jagrat. In that state, you are completely conscious and you are identified with your gross body. And when you are dreaming, there is swapna, so you are unconscious, but you are identified with your subtle body. And in the third state, Shushupti, deep sleep, your subconscious thing, and you are identified with your causal body. And in third, Turiya, the fourth state is consciousness, it's absolute, and that's a fourth. Okay, now we are going to move on to the next kosha, Vijnanamaya kosha. Vijnanamaya means knowledge. So this layer is made of intellect and knowledge. So the faculty which discriminates, this is the one that discriminates actually. So it is a component discriminates between good and bad and all those things. So it is a component of the mind that has developed in human race greatly that differentiates man from animals. So the Vijnanamaya kosha transcends intellect and enters into the dimension of intuition. So where the mind does not work here. So the mind and intellect do not function in Vijnanamaya kosha. So each one of us operates at the level of instinct, intelligence, intellect, and intuition. So till the level of intellect, you are under the influence and the field of Manomaya kosha. So it is when you are able to transcend intellect that you will experience an intuitive flash about something or the other. As all of us at some point in our lifetime experience the intuition, so which comes in flashes due to a sudden contact with the Vijnanamaya kosha. But we are not able to hold on to that state of awareness. And once again, we go back to the level of intellect and intelligence. Next is Anandamaya kosha. So Anandamaya kosha are the sheath made of bliss. So the knowledge of final truth, Ananda, is the basic stuff of this universe from which everything has been created. So this is the most subtle aspect of our existence, which is devoid of any form of emotions. That is a state of total silence, your state of complete harmony and perfect health. So this kosha is a reflection of three divine qualities of the soul, namely Sat, Chit, Ananda. You might have heard this quite often, but we'll see what it is. Sat is truth, absolute being or existence, that which never changes. Chit is consciousness, understanding and comprehension. Ananda is a bliss, a state of pure happiness, joy, sensual pleasure. And Sat, Chit, Ananda is, in short form, truth, consciousness, bliss. Now, the three bodies we are talking about, Sariratraya, they are called. Causal body, subtle body, gross body, Karana Sharira, Sukshma Sharira, and Stula Sharira. So first we are going to see the causal body. It's merely the cause or the seed of the subtle and the gross body. So the causal body is considered as the most complex of all the bodies. It contains the impressions of experience which results from past experience. That's causal body. Sukshma Sarira, subtle body, it is the body of the mind and vital energies, which keep the physical body alive. Together with the causal body, it is a transmigrating soul, separating from the gross body upon death. So Stula Sharira is a gross body, that is our physical body. So it is the gross body, is a material, physical, mortal body that eats, breathes, and moves. And that's obviously acts. So it is composed of many diverse components produced by one's karma, that is actions in past life. So I won't say this, generally this topic, but we have seen this birth cycle in the first theory class. So those are the three shariras. So now we are going to see the relation between the koshas and the bodies we have talked about. See the Annamaya kosha, this is Annamaya kosha, the food body sheath is related to your gross body. And this Pranamaya kosha, Manomaya kosha, VIJNANAMAYA kosha, that is energy sheath, mind sheath and the intellect sheath, all comes under subtle body. And the Anandamaya kosha, the bliss sheath, is connected with your causal body. And there is a Kundalini Shakti that connects to your Atman. So this is the sheath and the body relation. And this is going to be your final review of what we have done in this class today. So the Taittiriya Upanishad describes 5 koshas, which are also often equated with 3 bodies. And the 3 bodies are often equated with 5 koshas, sheath, which cover the Atman. So Stula Sharira, the gross body, also called Annamaya Kosha. So I think we have said that. Gross body also called Annamaya Kosha. The Sukshma Sarira, subtle body, composed of Pranamaya, Manomaya, and VIJNANAMAYA Kosha, mind, energy, and intellect. Karana Sharira, the causal body, the Anandamaya Kosha. So now we are going to see the review of what we have done in this class. First, we'll start with 3 bodies. Stula Sharira, gross body. Sukshma Sharira, subtle body. Karana Sharira, causal body. Stula Sharira is Annamaya Kosha. We all know that. So gross body is made up of Anna that we eat, food that we eat. And this consciousness at this level is Jagrat. That is your wakeful state. Sukshma Sharira. So obviously the consciousness at this state of level is Swapna while dreaming. You will be associated with your subtle body. And this Sukshma Sharira has 3 koshas that related to Pranamaya Kosha, Manomaya Kosha, and VIJNANAMAYA Kosha. Again, this Pranayama Kosha, we have seen those 5 pranas. I've just mentioned the Mukhya Prana, Prana, Apana, Samana, Udana, and Vyana. And again, the Pranamaya Kosha have those 7 chakras, Mooladhara Chakra, Root Chakra, Swadhisthana, Sacral Chakra, Manipura, Solar Plexus Chakra, Anahata Heart Chakra, Vishuddhi Throat Chakra, Agnya, the 3rd Eye Chakra, Sahasra, the Crown Chakra. So all these are in Pranamaya Kosha, these chakras and pranas. So now we are done with Sukshma Sharira and Pranamaya Kosha, Manomaya Kosha, VIJNANAMAYA Kosha. Again, the Manomaya Kosha, we have seen those 4 states of consciousness and the 5 states, types of mind, that comes under Manomaya Kosha. Now we'll move on to the last one, Karana Sharira, the causal body. This happens in deep sleep, that is Shushupti. Your body will be associated with, your consciousness will be associated in the deep sleep with Karana Sharira. And this will be with Kosha, with Anandamaya Kosha. And the Turiya, the 4th state, the pure awareness, as you all see, it's not linked with any Kosha or Sharira, because it's just a pure awareness, it's just a observer of all the other bodies or all the other three states of consciousness. So that's the class for today. So we will be meeting up soon for next class. Thank you. I'll be stopping my